In this video, we show you how to make leggings, creating the pattern from a pair of leggings you already wear. We're drafting our pattern straight onto the fabric, but you could draft a paper pattern first if you prefer. You'll find more details on how to do that on our website, gathered.how. Make sure the stretch of the fabric you choose to use is about the same as in the pair you are creating the pattern from. Fold the fabric to give you 2 layers, with the right sides facing in. Place your existing leggings on top of the fabric, with the front facing up. Fold the leggings around the inner leg seam, so the extra fabric is folded underneath at the centre seam. Where the waist is higher at the back, fold the extra fabric down. That means we can mark just around the front part of the leggings. Use the shape as a guide and leave extra space around the outside of the shape for your seam allowance. We're using about 1 centimetre for our seam allowance. Marking along the outside of the leg, you might have a bulge at the hip where the leggings you have worn have stretched out a little. Try not to curve the marking following any stretch at the hip, but let your line go straight up instead. For the waist, the extra fabric space you need to add at the top depends on the width of the elastic you want to use for your leggings. Add in a gap the same width as your elastic, and add the seam allowance as extra height too. This means that you will have enough fabric at the waist to fold down and enclose the elastic. To mark up your fabric for the back of the leggings, shift the template leggings to a new piece of fabric. This time, you want to leave the fabric at the top of the waist folded up, so that you can mark the higher waist length on the back piece. Find the centre seam at the crotch and mark this on your fabric. Because the crotch at the centre back is deeper than at the centre front, the inner leg seam on the back can't be folded all the way out. Take a look at your template leggings and see how much fabric there is underneath, up to the centre fold. Add the length of that folded fabric onto your marking up, adding on your normal seam allowance too. When you mark around the centre seam, follow the curve down the new point. For the back of the waist, you need to add the width of your elastic and add the seam allowance too. Make sure to not curve the marking following any stretch at the hip curve, but let it go straight up. Now we have marked up our front and back fabric pieces. Cut around the markings, cutting through both layers of the fabric. You'll see how the centre seam curves on the back one sits higher than on the front one, so the back piece is bigger. Mark on the centre curve seam allowance so it's easy to find when you are stitching your leggings. If you have one, use an overlocker to secure the raw edges of your 4 fabric pieces, or use a zigzag stitch on your sewing machine. Not all stretchy fabric frays, so if your stretch fabric doesn't fray, you can skip this step. With the right sides of the fabric together, pin then sew the curved centre front and centre back seams together using an elastic seam or a narrow zigzag stitch. You'll be able to tell the 2 stitched pieces apart because the back piece will have a longer seam. With the right side of the fabric together, Align the centre seams of the front and back pieces, and then pin the inner leg seams. Align the side seams and pin those together too. Sew the pieces together. With the main seams now sewn together, try the leggings on and see if you need to make any adjustments. When you're happy with the fit, pin the leg opening fabric up inside the leg so that these are ready to be stitched in place. To add your waist elastic, first run the elastic tape around your waist, making sure that you can get it comfortably around your waist and over your hips. Add a 2 cm seam allowance, then cut your length of elastic. Place the elastic inside the top of the leggings, fold the fabric down over the elastic width plus seam allowance and pin in place. When you're done pinning, remove the elastic so that it's not there when you are stitching your waist channel closed. Stitch the leg openings in place. Stitch around the waist channel with a zigzag stitch along the lower edge. You want to leave space for the elastic to move freely in the channel, so the channel should be 0.5 centimetre to 1 centimetre wider than the width of your elastic. Leave a small opening unstitched so that you can thread the elastic through with the help of a safety pin. Make sure the elastic is lying flat in the channel. And then sew the ends together with a zigzag stitch. Close the opening of the channel with a zigzag stitch. Enjoy wearing your new leggings! This video is designed to help beginners learn how to make leggings. We do have tips on how to use less fabric and how to make a paper version of the pattern on our website, gathered.how. Thanks for watching.